Hello students, this is Parth Thakkar. In today's lecture, we are going to study dimensional analysis for the free convection. In our previous lecture, we have applied dimensional analysis method for the forced convection. Now, let's understand this method how to apply for the free convection. So let's start with the first slide. In previous lecture, we have seen that heat transfer coefficient in the case of forced convection depends on the following variables. First is the diameter of tube from which the fluid is flowing by some external arrangement like pump. Second is fluid velocity. Then the density of the fluid, dynamic viscosity of the fluid, thermal conductivity of the fluid, specific heat of the fluid. So H is a function of d, v, rho, mu, k and Cp. Now in a free convection, the only difference is the fluid velocity, or we can say that whatever the fluid circulation in free convection is due to the difference in density between the various fluid layers and not by the external agency. We have seen that in a natural convection or free convection, whatever flow of motion of fluid takes place by, it is due to the buoyancy effect which is generated due to the temperature difference, or we can say that the density difference. The first layer which is in contact with the solid, due to the temperature difference, it will absorb the heat from the solid surface, so that as the temperature rise of that layer, the density of that layer will decrease. So the higher dense layer which is just above that layer, which replace the lesser dense layer, and this process continuously known as the convection currents, natural convection currents. So because of natural convection currents, there is a circulation of layer, there is a circulation of fluid layer. So velocity of V is no longer an independent variable, but it depends on the following factor. First is the temperature difference, which is denoted by delta T. Second is a coefficient of volume expansion, which is denoted by beta, which we have already studied in our physics. This is the first thermal coefficient of expansion, which is due to the volumetric expansion because of the temperature difference. And the last one is gravitational acceleration due to gravity, which is denoted by G. Now this beta G into delta T is considered as one physical factor. In a forced convection, the fluid velocity directly depends on the arrangement which we have provided externally like pump. So from that we can easily find out the velocity of fluid. In a forced convection, there is no external arrangement like pump for the flow of velocity. Whatever circulation of whatever motion of the fluid is due to the buoyancy effect, which is due to the temperature difference between the two layers or the density difference between the two layers. So that flow, that convection current, that motion of layers depends on the three factors: difference of the temperature, second coefficient of volumetric expansion, which is beta, and the acceleration due to gravity, which is G. So in forced convection, there is the velocity capital V. In a free convection, that fluid velocity capital V is going to be replaced by this beta G delta T, which is considered as a one common physical factor which is responsible for the flow of the fluid in a free convection. The remaining process will remain same. So if we apply dimensional analysis for the free convection, which is let's say happen on the free surface. So the convective heat transfer coefficient for the free convection depends on the following parameter. First is the length of the characteristic length of the surface from which free convection takes place. Second is velocity. For the free convection, the velocity factor is beta G delta T. Density of the fluid, dynamic viscosity of the fluid, thermal conductivity of the fluid, specific heat of the fluid. So H in the case of free convection is a function of L, beta G delta T, rho, mu, K and Cp. So here first again we need to find out the primary quantities, or we can say the fundamental quantities M, L, T, T of all these variables. So first is the length of surface. The unit of length is meter, so it is L raised to 1. Second is beta G delta T. Beta is a coefficient of volumetric expansion. The unit is Kelvin. K. G is our gravitational force, which unit is meter per second square. And this delta T is the temperature difference, which is in Kelvin. So the unit of this beta G delta T would be meter per second square. This is unit of this beta is 1 upon mean temperature, so that the 1 upon Kelvin, this 1 upon Kelvin is the unit of this beta, delta T is the temperature difference in Kelvin, and G in meter per second square. You can easily find out value of volumetric expansion beta by 1 upon minimum T mean temperature of the fluid and the surface. So the overall unit would be meter per second square. So for the meter, L raised to 1, for the second square time T raised to minus 2. We know for the density it is kg per meter cube, so that m raised to 1, L raised to minus 3. For the dynamic viscosity, kg per second into meter, for kg m raised to 1, for second capital T raised to minus 1, for meter L raised to minus 1. Thermal conductivity, watt per meter Kelvin. Simplifying it, we will get kg into meter per second cube into Kelvin. For kg m raised to 1, for meter L raised to 1, for second cube it is T raised to minus 3, and for Kelvin small t raised to minus 1. For specific heat, as we have already discussed in previous video, we will get meter square per second square into Kelvin. So L raised to 2, T raised to minus 2, and small t raised to minus 1. For H, it would be m raised to 1, T raised to minus 3, and small t raised to minus 1. Here also total number of variables are 7, so small n is equal to 7. Fundamental quantities or primary quantities are m, l, t, t, which is small m is equal to 4. So here also number of dimensionless pi terms are n minus m, so that 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. So f1 is a function of pi 1, pi 2, pi 3 is equal to 0. So we have to choose 4 repeating variables again. First one should be geometry property, which is length. Second one should be the fluid property, which is rho, which is density. Third one should be the flow property, which is mu, viscosity. And the last one should be the thermal property, which is in our case conductivity, K. Now let's form pi 1, pi 2 and pi 3 dimensionless number or dimensionless group. So for pi 1, 4 repeating variables, L rho mu K. So write down L rho mu K in pi 1, pi 2, pi 3. 4 constant A1, B1, C1, D1 for the pi 1. A2, B2, C2, D2 for pi 2, A3, B3, C3 and D3 for the pi 3 term. Now remaining 3 variable, beta G delta T for the pi 1, second specific heat for the pi 2, and last one is H for the pi 3. Now let's derive the equation for the pi 1 group, which is d rho mu K beta G delta T. As we have know the next step, replacing this d rho mu K beta G delta T by their MLT form, primary quantities, fundamental quantities from the table, we will get equation like this. Now from this equation, we have to generate 4 equations. For first one is for capital M, so it would be B1 into 1, so that B1 plus C1 into 1 plus D1 into 1. So B1 plus C1 plus D1 is equal to 0. This is equation number 1. Second for the L, so that A1 into 1 minus 3B1 minus C1 plus D1 plus 1 is equal to 0. This is equation number 2. Third one is for the capital T. So for capital T here, minus 1 into C1 minus 3 into D1 minus 2 is equal to 0. This is equation number 3. And the last equation is for the small t. So for small t, directly here we can see that minus 1 into D1. So that minus D1 is equal to 0. Now we have 4 equations and also 4 unknowns. So from this equation we will get D1 is equal to 0. Putting D1 in this equation, we will get C1 is equal to minus 2. Putting C1 and D1 in our equation number 1, we will get B1 is equal to 2. Now putting all the value of B1, C1 and D1 in this equation, we will get value of A1, which is 3. Now using this value of A1, B1, C1 and D1 in this equation, we will get pi 1 is equal to L raised to 3, rho raised to 2, mu raised to minus 2, K raised to 0 into beta G delta T. So our pi 1 first dimensionless number should be L cube rho square upon mu square into beta G delta T. Now repeating this sequence for pi 2. So in pi 2, instead of beta G delta T, we have CT, specific heat. Now from the table, replacing this L rho mu K Cp by their fundamental quantities, which is in MLTT form. Now first we have to generate equation for capital M. So B2 into 1 plus C2 into 1 plus D2 into 1. So B2 plus C2 plus D2 is equal to 0. Second for the L. So A2 into 1 Now minus 3 into B2 minus 1 into C2 plus 1 into D2 plus 2 is equal to 0. So this is our equation number 2. For capital T, minus 1 into C2 minus 3 into D2 minus 2. So minus C2 minus 3 D2 minus 2 is equal to 0. And for small t, here directly we can see minus 1 into D2 and minus 1. So minus D2 minus 1 is equal to 0. Now we have 4 equations, 4 unknown. So by solving this equation, we will get D2 is equal to minus 1. Putting value of D2 in equation number 3, we will get C2 is equal to 1. Putting value of C2 and D2 in equation number 1, we will get B2 is equal to 0. And by putting value of B2, C2, D2 in equation number 2, we will get A2 is equal to 0. Now using this value of A2, B2, C2, D2 in pi 2 equation, we will get pi 2 is equal to L raised to 0, rho raised to 0, mu raised to 1, k raised to minus 1 into Cp. So pi 2 is equal to mu Cp by k, because L raised to 0 becomes 1, rho raised to 0 becomes 1, k raised to minus 1, so it is 1 upon k. So mu Cp by k. This is our second dimensionless number. Now repeating same process for pi 3 group, which is L rho mu k into h. Now replacing this L rho mu k into h by their by their fundamental quantities, which is MLT. Generating equation for M, L, capital T, small t, we will get this 4 equation. Now again we have 4 equation and 4 unknowns. So by solving this, we will get D3 is equal to minus 1, C3 is equal to 0, B3 is equal to 0 and A3 is equal to 1. Using this A3, B3, C3 and D3 for the pi 3 equation, we will get pi 3 is equal to L raised to 1, rho raised to 0, mu raised to 0, k raised to minus 1 and h. So pi 3 would be rho raised to 0 and mu raised to 0 becomes 1, k raised to minus 1, it is 1 upon k. So pi 3, our third dimensionless number is LH by k or HL by k. So we have 3 dimensionless number, pi 1, pi 2 and pi 3. This pi 1, L cube rho square beta g delta t upon mu square, which is known as the Grashof number, denoted by capital G small r. This mu Cp by k we know it is Prandtl number, and this HLC by k is known as the Nusselt number. The physical significance of this Grashof number, Prandtl number and Nusselt number we will discuss this physical significance of this dimensionless number in our upcoming videos. Now according to pi theorem, pi 1 is a function of pi 2 and pi 3, or pi 3 is a function of pi 1, pi 2, or pi 2 is a function of pi 1 and pi 3. So we can write Nusselt is a function of Grashof and Prandtl. We can also say Grashof is a function of Nusselt and Prandtl, or Prandtl is a function of Grashof and Nusselt. So this is for today. Thank you so much.